Welcome back to this episode of the Law of Relevancy podcast. I'm your host, Cordes Owen. I'm the CEO of Bake More Pies. And we're joined today by Eitan Koter. And he is the CEO and co-founder of Vimmi, which is one of the most innovative commerce video platforms on the whole internet. Eitan, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Cordes, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward.
Well, I got to tell you, this is one of my most favorite topics because since we started our agency, we're over 10 years old now, and I knew from the beginning that we were going to have to be really good at video. And our clients and all of our marketing and advertising that we were doing, we're going to have to be able to use video as a platform because, to be honest, it's the best way to communicate with people at scale.
Yeah, this is also my belief. I'm more than 2 decades already in the video industry. And, when I started, my CEO hired me and it was a company in the video compression space, right? These are the days where video used to be called broadcast and there were like TV stations and cable companies. And we did the initial transition from analog video to digital video with compression equipment. And he told me, "Are you sure you want to join? Because if you join, we are part of the video industry, and this is the last industry that you will ever work in your entire career because there's no way to get out of it." I said, "What do you mean?" After like 20 years, I say, I think I understand what he meant, right? It's evolving so fast, things are changing, and it's so exciting because video is such an emotional experience, right? You know, compared to probably text or even audio because you can see. It used to be called, as I said, like broadcast, then probably media and entertainment, like big screen, this lean back type of experience. We are here where we are, usually focusing on enjoying video and just relax. But video today is also a lean forward type of experience where you can purchase through video, make videos shoppable, obviously using our phones and desktops. So it's just keep growing always. Like video, as you know, according to Cisco, is like more than 82% of the worldwide internet traffic, right? And it's still growing. It's growing on short form video, it's growing on long form videos, all form like big screen, small screen. Pretty exciting.
Well, to be honest with you, and the reason that I was totally bought into video is because it is the way that humans, the way that we consume the world around us is like with our eyeballs. It's like video, and
Sure.
video done well is storytelling, and all of history has been communicated via storytelling, and so our brains are literally wired to consume it. And you brought up the fact about you started within the video industry and talking about compression, and I think that's a really good point because if you think back to some of the articles that we were reading about some of the futuristic and predicting the future of what's going to happen with the internet and how people are going to use it, there have been predictions about how people are going to use video for a long time, but we didn't have the technology that was able to leverage it. I remember, I don't know if people listen to this have cell phones this old, but you would watch a 10-minute video and it would kill your entire battery,
Yeah.
or it would use your entire data plan. And so compression was a really big deal. And so protocols were designed to transmit that video. But the problem is that the processors on the phone, like, it was really high bandwidth because the processors weren't powerful enough to unpack the video, so it needed to not be compressed so much. And so now, as of the last few years, we've hit this perfect point where platforms like YouTube or and OTT and online streaming are the primary way that video has been broadcast. And we just saw in the latest election that how much more important social media and all those other video platforms are than broadcast now. I think we've jumped the shark. So you probably hit it at the right time to get ahead of the game.
Yes, I mean, now it's so clear that video is working very, very well, not just on the contribution side, on this point-to-point link, let's say from a stadium or from a production house, but it's also working very, very well on the distribution side, where you have millions of viewers concurrently watching a sport event or watching a TV series, and it's working. I mean, in the early days, like with this company that I worked for, Scopus Video Networks, it, which went public eventually, and we were probably pioneering the world of video over IP. Right? Usually, video was carried over traditional networks like satellite networks, managed fiber networks, just point to point, and we started to push video over public internet just on this point to point scenario use case, or point to multi point. And we had so many problems, packet loss and the jittering all over the network, and it was a mess. But then obviously technology evolved, cost went down, and today obviously CDN networks are so massive, and those public CDN providers like CloudFront.com changed the game completely, and a lot of companies are building their own private CDN, the big media companies, and yeah, it's all over the place. So now 4K is not enough. People are talking about 8K and about VR, which multiplying 4K by probably 8 times, and right. So just the bandwidth the consumption to bandwidth is just increasing. Um, Servers count are increasing always, but it's commoditized. I mean, it's available for everyone. Everyone can use their phone to go live or to create videos, and the platforms and the algorithms, the social networks or marketplaces or your own website, there are plenty enough of technology to support the demand.
Interesting. It's definitely happening. We're right in the middle of this thing. And then even last week, I don't know if you saw this announcement, but Nintendo came out with an announcement that they're going to use AI to upscale video. So
Yeah.
now they're not just talking about like the right protocol to compress or to transmit, but now they're saying, hey, I can just transmit low quality video, and the AI will get it and enhance the resolution in real time with the process on the platform. So it's an entirely different solution to this quality challenge that we're having. And heck, you could go to 12K or 16K. Like, it doesn't matter because the AI is doing it in real time as long as you have the horsepower and the computing to do it. But the I actually thought of a video protocol joke, and only the super nerds will get this one. But I was walking in a data center the other day, and I saw this on the wall. It was a joke about the IP versus UDP protocols.
Mm-hmm.
And they says, I would tell you a joke about UDP, but you might not get it.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
but I saw that, and I was like the only person out of like 30 people that laughed. I felt like such a nerd. And if you didn't get it and you're listening to this, look it up. And it still might not be that funny, but I'm kind of a dork. But let's talk about what's happening though. When you look at TikTok, for example, and how people are monetizing video platforms like Instagram, TikTok, everybody wants, these social media platforms, they evolve, and like all of a sudden one becomes a leader and the rest of them try to copy it. But the fact of the matter is, it's video selling that's doing the hardest work. And that's where Vimmi comes in.
Yes, I mean, this is something that wasn't invented in the Western world, right? It was actually invented in China about 5-6 years ago, where they thought that, hey, we have these super apps, right? And we're doing everything in those super apps, and we buy everything, we purchase any type of product, and they just opened this live section, right? So there were sellers there. Actually, this has become their day job. They were just selling online on these various super apps, and they will sell some of them have an annual revenues which is in the billions of dollars, right? Of selling products in live shopping. Now it's very, very it was perfectly aligned with the way the Chinese are purchasing, because most of China's retail GMVs are digital. I think around 80% of the overall retail business is online, right? Like in the US, it's just completely the opposite, right? It's like probably 20% of the entire retail revenues are online. And then people thought that, yeah, I mean, video is such an interactive way and a powerful way, and it gives the ability to interact with users, to build brand loyalty. And live shopping was introduced to the Western world from the US around probably 3, 4 years ago, and it's catching up. But what TikTok also taught us is that, hey, short form videos are very, very powerful, right? And these are like pre-recorded, pre-edited content, and that content should be like 30 seconds. Okay, so and then the TikTokification effect started, right? It started as an entertainment platform, then as a search platform, but today it's a shopping platform, right? Competing with Amazon on all fronts, so it also fulfillment services. But video is like the engine. It's like the fuel that feeds this monster, right? So it's video first. So a lot of people are now starting to think that, hey, I can be like a startup founder. I can be very, very successful. I know how to manage R&D. I know how to manage marketing, deal with my investors, but I also need to create content. It was never part of any job description for any founder CEO, right? Or even executive out there. But today it's a must. I mean, creating content, again, organically even, do it right in a process that we probably can discuss in greater detail. It will create it's, a, it's going to be probably the most powerful marketing channel that 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 is available out there right now, and it's free, right? It's free.
Yeah, absolutely. It is free to post those videos, and you're not having to pay to push that out there. Obviously, you can boost it, and there's advertising and tracking and all of
Correct.
those things, which I know that Vimmi is involved in, and those
Mhm.
analytics. But when I'm imagining using video to sell products and services online, the first place my brain goes is, okay, well, how do I do it? Like what does this video need to look like? I
Mhm.
mean, to me it seems a little bit more obvious if it's like a widget. I'm just holding up the bottle cap of my water here. It seems a little bit more obvious when it comes to that. But have you seen a formula? Have you seen like something that marketing directors and VPs and directors and production people can like, what do we need to do in order to make the best videos to sell our products?
Yeah, great question. So there is no, of course, there are formulas, but those formulas are not working for all the companies, right? It's different. What is niche of the brand? What's where are they in the life cycle? What's the market sentiment to them? But I can probably share the process that we try to teach, which guarantees success, right? If you're consistent in the process. So probably let's try project to define what type of videos are available, right? So we have like live video, which is one form of video. We can just go live from your desktop, from your cell phone, right? In the Vimmi platform, we can also provide a mobile app where you can just go live, or invite co-hosts to join you from remote locations from mobile or from. You can even manage their production settings, and that live stream. In our scenario of making a live shopping event, you can associate products that you can showcase during these events. Of course, as a host, you can explain about the product, but then you can add overlays like call to action with a description of the product and a call to action to purchase the product, like from within the video, what we call video checkout. Of course, this type of live events also have a chat system that potential shoppers can communicate, and moderators can respond and accelerate the probability for purchase. And those live events can also be distributed on the brand's website with an embed player in variety of display options that can be provided. But also they can be distributed or published from our platform to all the social media networks, marketplaces, and we support all of them already from the get-go in our backend, in our tool. So that's one type of video. The other type of video is those short form videos. Usually, if you just started, we talk about 30 seconds video, right? And those videos usually have a format about what works best. So on those short form videos, you need to start with a hook, okay? Not with a sales page, because people will just keep scrolling, right? The hook should be something meaningful, something interesting that creates a pain, that creates some kind of an interest, right? Um, and the second, in just one sentence, and with probably with a question mark at the end. The second part is about creating some kind of a meaningful connection with your audience, again, through a personal story. Again, don't pitch, don't sell your product, right? Share a story about why you started the company, why you're so passionate about the industry, I mean, behind the scenes, some kind of a product story, customer success story, or something of that sort. The third part of the video should be about, showing stuff, right? Don't tell, show. Okay, so great stories is a great foundation, but then you need to use like descriptive images or just unboxing or tell what is the unique selling point of your product, and be very, very focused in what's interesting. And the last part, you need to just end it with kind of a bang, right? A call to action, right? And all of this structure should be maintained. Doesn't matter if you have a 30 seconds video, 60-second, or even 2 minutes, right? It is in short form. Now, YouTube also extended shorts more than 1 minute, so now it's available across all platforms: TikTok, and Reels, and YouTube. Also, by the way, Amazon and Walmart are gradually supporting short form videos. But that's the idea with short form video. It should be authentic, and consistency is key. Okay, so no one cares about the background. Really, no one cares about too much about high production value or high a lot of editing uh, functionalities or capabilities. People care about who you are. It's about building a relationship and about trying to propose something at the right time. So if you are a new brand or just launching a new product, let's say, let's talk about the marketing funnel, right? And we can just divide it to probably awareness, consideration, and decision, right? If you're in an awareness stage, no one knows you as a brand, don't pitch products because people don't care, right, about products. People care, they want to be educated, they want to learn something new. So if you're just building up relationship in the awareness phase, provide educational information, talk about the market, provide value, right? Like checklist, don't pitch product, don't sell features. This is not the right time. If your audience are in the consideration phase, or probably they're evaluating few options, yeah, don't be afraid to provide comparisons. Talk about your competitors. Save time to your audience because they know your competitors. They will go there and look for it. So don't be afraid. Share that information. Remember these, even on blogs. Remember all these versus blogs were created mainly by the affiliates, right? By the resellers. Today, these versus posts are created by the providers themselves. They don't be afraid. Even on our website, we are discussing about our competition. We even provide links to our competition, right? But we provide them value, what's unique in our platform, because it's very easy to understand what's available out there, right? So during this consideration stage, provide how to guide case study, right? And when those shoppers are ready to purchase, yeah, provide these unique selling points, prices, testimonials, and case studies. And this is where you need to pitch your product. So what we usually suggest is create kind of a 2 to 3 months plan, right? Where you create, for example, a list of your customer pains. It can be a list of 50 customer pains. If you cannot do that list within 1 hour, you're in the wrong business. So create a list of 50 customer pains. Create short form video. Just talk about this specific pain and how your technology or how your product or how do you as a person think that this should be resolved, right? And how do you address this pain? And if you start creating those videos, and at the beginning it will not be perfect and no one cares because people respect authenticity more than polished high production value of videos, again, for short form, then you will be able to get feedback. And on our platform, we provide a lot of data from the entire multi-channel uh, uh, networks, and what's working and what's not, what time of the day, length, production on feedback, scripting, gives you a lot of data, what's working and what's not. And over time, you will see that it's not a linear growth, right? That if you post 10 videos, next week another 10, next week it's not a linear growth. It's suddenly it's going to be plateau, and there's one video that just, it's like a hockey stick effect, right? And suddenly you have like 100 views, and one video get you 50,000 views, right? And I hear this from all our customers, and this is my personal experience as well because I post a lot as well. So once you hit that hockey stick curve, you get excited and you learn what worked in that specific video. and you try to adapt and continue. But if you continue with this for like 2 to 3 months, I saw amazing result of companies, increasing their overall sales quite dramatically, just because their founders, their executives, their employees created content. UGC is very important, user generated content, right? But EGC is just an emerging opportunity with employee generated content. Um, and then we have the long form video, right? This is usually goes to YouTube. Maybe it's something you do at a later stage of your evolution. This should be like fully edited, highly polished type of videos, usually long forms that are providing and going in depth to a specific topic.
That's a lot to unpack. That was a great dissertation on the formula for how to actually do it. Can you think of one of your clients or a great example out there of a model of someone that we've seen selling a product or service where they were kind of bumping around in the dark and figured it out, and then now they're just doing great?
Yeah, so the purpose of this exercise, these 2 to 3 months, is just to experiment what's working for that specific company, right? No one knows in advance what will work, right? Is it a short form? Is it a live video? And is it the long form? Very, very difficult to understand at the get-go, right? So the commitment is just to start creating content. Usually companies start with this short form and moving and adding probably a weekly live show, and then just creating this long form. That's a path that is usually important. Without mentioning specific names, we have customers that they tried a lot of things and eventually just zeroed in only on live events. So they're doing like 5 hours a day on a live event, and this is the most effective ROI that they can get, right? Other companies are working very, very well with influencers. And again, that working with influencers is another type of expertise that probably can be discussed. But what we see is working very, very well, and we highly encourage those leaders of those brands, the founders, if they are still available, the executive leadership staff, just to start creating content, because it has like a snowball effect. Because if I am the CMO and started creating content, my CEO is creating content, probably head of e-commerce is starting creating content. Those algorithms, I don't know to explain it 100%, but it has like a dramatic effect on viewership, on engagement, and on overall on conversions. Because what we want to do is not just create video for impression and for engagement, but we want to create those conversion opportunities, right? Those checkout opportunities. And this is where shoppable video comes into place, both on short form, long form, and live video across multiple channels, giving the ability for the brands to create those social commerce opportunities, because it's so difficult to bring consumers to your own amazing brand.com, right? I mean, cost of advertising is increasing. I mean, SEO is so complicated. And if you just deploy your content where your potential shoppers are already spending their time, like few hours a day, anyhow, if they're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, then yeah, let's deploy also opportunities for them to check out. I can tell you, for example, of a furniture brand, right? Think about it, a furniture brand. They tried everything, and they opened a TikTok shop just without, they didn't expect to sell on TikTok, but think about it like a big, sofa, or like a big, dining room on TikTok, right? Usually it's like cosmetics, fashion, cool
Something
stuff.
you can ship easily,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, so the seller is standing and he's just pointing backwards to this big, dining room or whatever. They saw 30% increase in overall sales after 3 months, while selling zero on TikTok. Initially, they were,
Right. Well, I think that's a really important point.
yeah,
I was at a conference for automotive one time because we do a lot of automotive advertising, and it was back when the YouTube changed their format where it was the True View is what they called it, where you only had to pay if somebody watched enough of your video. And when you look at the analytics itself, there and there always will be with a display or a video type advertising, there'll always be very, very low conversions directly from the video. But if you look at the organic traffic and you look at the organic direct traffic and the organic traffic, all of a sudden you'll see your baseline increase because
Yep.
now people are it's view throughs. They're watching the video. You're building trust at scale. It's like because it's authentic, they trust you. They're going to the site. They're shopping. They believe they're going to have a good experience, and it shows up in other places. And the problem is that it's really hard to track that somebody came from that other thing, but you can see it when you look holistically at your marketing channels and what's
Yeah.
coming into your ecosystem.
So this company was able to attribute their growth to those TikTok videos, 100%. Okay. Initially, they struggled to sell on TikTok. They opened a TikTok shop, but it has this halo effect, this holistic marketing that a lot of marketeers are talking today, right? About those multi-channels and how each one of those channels are influenced to the other. Eventually, they were able to sell also those products on TikTok, right? And even like 10 months ago, you say, okay, TikTok is for probably cosmetics, fashion, gadgets, electronics, this type of thing. But today it's for everything. Okay, you talk about the automotive industry, we have car dealers who are selling on TikTok, right? So it's really interesting. Really interesting.
It's funny how things repeat themselves. I remember back in the very late 90s, early 2000s, when Amazon was brand new. I remember sitting in like a business class and like the professor asked like, who's bought something on Amazon? And somebody would raise their hand and go, I bought I've bought, 10 or 15 people would raise their hand and say they bought a book because that's all they sold. And then it was like DVDs or music or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like history repeats itself because what happens is people all of a sudden start to get comfortable with buying things and they're like, well, why can't I buy a couch? I can buy, this new nail polish. Why can't I buy a couch? Like, I'm sure it's the same thing.
Yes.
But these things are, that's what I love about being in this industry for a while is because you start to see patterns, which is, one of the reasons why I've invested so much in the latest version of AI is because it reminds me of those early days of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, we've talked about Vimmi as a platform and like what you guys do. When you look at your website, you'll see that there are embeddable videos that, you've talked about overlays. Explain to me as a webmaster, as an owner of a brand, like how would I actually deploy your tool and use it? What would be the best case scenario?
So it's very, very fast and it's a self-service platform. So what you do initially is the first thing that you do is you just connect your social network, right? Your marketplace to the platform. So we can post. It just streamline your entire operation. Usually those companies that have dedicated teams working probably on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. So everything can be managed from a single platform because we've implemented all those APIs and those APIs are changing by the day. Right? So we have a dedicated team just working on that 24/7. The second thing that you do, you just add products. So you connect your whatever it's a Shopify or any type. We work with all the platform, the e-commerce platform out there. You can just sync product and a click of a button, upload the CSV or create products on the platform. All we need is just the name of the product, the media, the thumbnails, right? Uh, like the thumbnails or the posters, the price probably before and after discount, right? And the URL. Now and then you associate videos with those links, with those products. Videos can be created by the influencers, by the company itself, by a production company. Those videos will be uploaded to our platform, get authenticated, protected, saved in a professional archive. So it's kind of a full media asset management type of platform with various authorization to access the content. So one brand can work with multiple creators or influencers, each one with a different set of products. And we call it workspaces. So one brand, multiple workspaces. And we also work with creators. One creator can work with multiple brands. So all these hierarchies can be implemented in the account. And once those videos are there, and here we talk about pre-recorded videos, short form, long form, they can be associated with those links. One video can be associated with multiple products, and each product can be associated with multiple checkout destinations, what we call the redirect option. So you can publish a video to YouTube, for example, and you may decide to do kind of round robin, or you may decide that the redirect to purchase will be to your Shopify, for example, or to your Amazon page.
Right.
You can decide it on an individual video and individual product level. Okay. And we're implementing AI there just to manage, make sure, and we work with data companies to try to figure out for that specific shopper where in higher probability, or what is how the conversion rate is going to increase, whether we redirect them to Amazon or to to your own Shopify, for example. Right. So all these redirect is also managed in our platform. And that's it. The idea is to upload more and more content associated with the product links, and just post them in one click to your network. We enable the shoppability, right, in each that is available in each one of those platforms based on the APIs that they are providing. So various ideas like redirect to different links, adding a QR code, uh, entering probably a coupon code, or providing variety of tools in Instagram and the Meta environment, like Meta, Instagram or Facebook. We create there is a bot that, for example, there is a video. It can be live or non-live. And in the live event, for example, if someone clicks a certain word in the chat that the host will say, then the bot will send him automatically in the Instagram and Facebook Messenger uh, the link to create this checkout. So again, this is automatically embedded into our system. So yeah, it's very straightforward. Anyone can do it. It does not require any specific engineering capabilities. There is no onboarding, which is too complex for anyone to do quite easy.
It sounds like you've with your workflows and your efficiencies that you've made this extremely simple. One of the things you just said is anyone can do it, and it kind of brings me up to the thought about influencers. You know, like for the most part of this conversation, we've talked about you've got to go, like you have to go in and start creating these videos, and like some people are more shy or more introverted, or they're totally uncomfortable in front of a camera and creating videos, or even maybe they're nervous about even getting started because they're wondering, like, are these videos I'm creating on brand? Or do they satisfy our guidelines? Are they going to actually negatively impact our brand or
Yeah.
their marketing or whatnot? So there's like this fear of even getting started. That's pretty a big deal, right? And so it kind of opens up the question of these influencer relationships, because you can see out there on the internet and on social media and YouTube, there a lot of times there might be influencers who fit your brand persona and like who you are, and you're like, man, I wish that person could represent my company. But I got to tell you, like, working with influencers is one of my personal things that I don't like the most, because every single one has their own massive ego, and it's like you're talking about a custom deal every single time. Like, tell us about, do you have any tips or secrets or good advice or best practices related to selecting, working with, engaging with influencers and getting them excited about repping your
Yeah.
brand?
I mean, see, this is one of the most, again, very successful marketing channels for any brands out there, right? Doesn't matter if B2C or B2B company. Working with influencers is probably returning one of the highest ROI of any marketing channel, right? But it's, as you said, it's expertise. There are a few ways you can work with influencers. First you need to find someone who did it in the past, right? So it's very difficult to start on your own. It's like a full-time job, right? So of course you have those software companies like the Creator IQ and the Aspires of the world, right? It's like a sea of millions of creators, right? It's very, very difficult to reach out, and it's like a long tail of
It's the
endless.
terrible business version of online dating. It's horrible.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Uh, and then you have those agencies, right? That they can do that job for you. I know you're also very experienced about that. But I think I think the idea is first to try to understand who is your customer, who is your ICP and your personas. I mean, are they Gen Z? Are they millennials, Gen X? Where do you want to focus? Because each one of those platforms has a different demographics, right? So if you want to track Gen Z, it's TikTok, period, right? YouTube is like all over generation, and of course, Instagram is more millennials, Gen X, probably Facebook, right? So this is like this. Need to decision number one. So if it's Gen X, so the easiest thing, and anyone can do that. Just go to the TikTok affiliate marketplace, right? It works just on product seeding, gifting, right? They take some kind of a 15% on average from the sale, and you can try. There's no risk, right? It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, and if there is an agency in the middle, they will take another share. So you need to calculate at least 35 to 40% that goes through this avenue or this effort. But it's worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you find the ones that, and I think you need to try to work with few of them. Probably a good number is 10 to 15 initially. Just give them the product, give them a high level scripting. Don't get involved too much. Work with them like probably a couple of days. Get something like a raw footage, see what's going, provide some feedback. And I think that working with these try to find these brand ambassadors, right? Everyone are looking for these brand ambassadors. It's not easy, right? But the idea is to try to work with those people, quickly create videos because it's so authentic and it's short forms. Let them publish on their own channel, but also take the video and repurpose it in all the other channels as well. Okay, and this is something probably you can do also. Of course, you can do also on the Vimmi platform, but the idea is that yes, the influencer posted on his channels. Make sure you manage the process, get analytics, figure out the returns, uh, on this investment and see what's working and what's not. Check it also, on the other channel, how it works because most brands. This is something I checked lately. I saw like two reports. One was 65%, the other was 82% of brands are repurposing influencer content. I was really
Sure.
surprised with this data because an influencer has followers in one network. It's Instagram or TikTok, probably, right? And YouTube, of course. But most brands deploy that content across the other channels as well because they just want to be there. Just to, I think we're moving from quantity to quality, right? Because if you see the brand just posting content without any strategy, with just random content, it's not good as well, right? So the idea is to respect, of course, the influencer, try to understand better than just the software platform are providing. Talk to them, uh, work with someone just to help with onboarding of training, and just figure it out. As we said previously, you need to test and experiment and try to figure out who is working best. But understand that again, you need to do that for at least 3 to 6 months just to understand what's working, figuring out. By that time, you'll be able probably to work with 20, 30 influencers, trying to understand uh, their style of work. And after the probably second half of the year, you can zero in on those influencers that are working very, very well and try to, bring them to a more strategic engagement. It's not easy. Most of them are happy to do that, but if you find few of those, even less than five, I think it's a great success, and they can provide a great value for your effort. I mean, influencer marketing is a must. Obviously, it's exploding. This market is just all over the place and
I think
across.
you said it best. Influencer marketing is a must. Like everyone listening to this has to figure it out.
Yeah,
You just have to figure it out.
yeah. The only way to know is just try. Don't give up. Keep trying. Be agile. Don't don't fall in love too much about the product. Just fall in love about customers, partners. Be you know flexible in your and feedbacks that you get, right? And reiterate and be agile in your implementation of processes and be fast to respond. I think that's much more important than anything.
I have a question for you. So, you just mentioned don't give up. And in your position leading this organization that you're involved in one of the fastest changing, most innovative places,
Mm.
it kind of, obviously it brings up thoughts in my own head about what's it like leading an organization like that. Obviously, there's probably heavy innovation, heavy execution, a lot of adversity. What's it been like for you leading the organization, and where do you see your organization going?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you need to enjoy what you're doing and you need to be, passionate about it and create a culture of, of positive communication and the ability to execute. And it's all about the teamwork, right? So less ego, more execution, and more opening uh, to accept quick changes. So it's all like all over the place. So we ship like I think 3 software versions a week these days, right? It's very, very fast. And it wasn't like that. This was a requirement. We knew that we need to do that. So how do we do that? Changing processes, sometimes changing staff, implementing AI just to make things faster on the development side of things. Because I believe a lot in this narrow innovation, or we can call it like this land and expand type of marketing, go to market approach, right? Instead of trying to build this massive ship, very, very take you a long time to launch and very difficult to move, right? Start small with a small set of functionality, targeting a very, very small set of users, work with them very, very closely on this limited functionality, make them happy with some kind of a breakthrough or some kind of an innovation that can be, cost reduction, improved operation, new functionality that they didn't have before. Once you have that initial success, you can expand with more functionalities, but you already have this word of mouth effect. People are happy with your performance and they are telling this to their friends. We know today that like 90% of the sales process is done without even talking to the providers, right? When I started, I was always in the sales marketing side of things, right? I used, in the B2B sales cycles, I need to usually meet, the customer 10 times before we can make a purchase. Everything that the customer knew, he knew from us, right? But today, they just talk to you after they did their own research, talk to their own community.
They're almost done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tested, even open, did a free trial for all of them. Let me correct the data. So I think it's 85% of the sales cycle is done independently by the buyers. And after that process, they reach out to like 2, 3 vendors that they want to work with. And 90% that they will work with the first vendor that they reached out to. So if you understand how business is working today, it means that you need to be there, like all channels, videos, content, of course, provide value, build relationships. But also you want to have this word of mouth and you need to be successful with your existing customers because they are telling this to their communities and the communities are sharing that information, give confidence to one another, and then they talk to the providers and try to execute a deal. And it's very, very different. And in order to be successful in today's environment, you need to be very, very agile and you need to move very, very fast, right? Also, the products. Again, when we launched the product, it was great for good 5, 7 years. I knew that I can promote and sell this product for years. But now, product that we launch needs to be like 12 months from now, it will look completely different, right? Because it needs to change, it needs to adapt, it needs to. If you don't listen and you don't adapt and you don't change, you are left behind. Someone else will come and just take your place. So that's the way to work. You need to be very open-minded, having the internal processes to move very, very fast, and implement things quickly without being too attached emotionally to anything, not to a feature and not to a roadmap or anything that you thought that you invested a lot. All these things can change quite fast. And to predict where the market is going, I think has become even more complicated because of everything that is going on with AI these days. But I think the relationship part is important. We were lucky because I don't know if you know, we are a bootstrap company. So we're a tech company. We never raised funds, uh, profitable, growing. We were lucky to, because of our background of the founders, just to win some substantial enterprise business, which was like a solid foundation for us to take more risk, to develop, uh, to invest more in development and in marketing. And we also, transitioned to mid market SMB, and we cover this entire array of customers, and just know what's where you are comfortable, right? And then
Right.
what's working, where you're most experienced. Are you more experienced in this, long tail customers doing this online digital marketing, just onboarding customers without zero touch, or you're more leaning towards this large scale B2B transactions, a lot of engagement, statement of works, project management, a lot of Zoom calls. So it's like the two, ends of the spectrum, right? So we need to figure this out as well. It's not just what the market is looking for; it's also what you as a leader can can do and implement inside your company.
Well, it says a lot about your organization that you've bootstrapped it, because in order to survive, you must be providing value the entire time.
Always, always. You should. We're not. It's not successful always, but most of the cases we try.
Well, that's great, Eitan. So the last question: where can people learn more about what you have to share and follow you, and keep up with what's going on with Vimmi?
Yes, quite active on LinkedIn. So you can follow me on my personal LinkedIn. It's Eitan Koter. It's Eitan and Koter. And you can just go to vimmi.net. It's vimmi.net. Check out what's going on there in terms of knowledge and value we provide, and also you can open a free account for live. Just go live, create shoppable videos, post on socials, and if you need more capacity, just increase to a higher level of a package. So it's all there. We are here to support you in any part of that process.
That's fantastic. Well, I can already think of a couple brands we work with where we're going to go ahead and open accounts. And you can find us anywhere where podcasts are found. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Law of Relevancy podcast, Eitan. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.